Hi, boys and girls, and welcome back to the art table. Today, we are going to start a project called Exploring the Future, which I am really excited about. So this is going to be what we call an artist choose art project, which means that you, the artist, get to choose how you create the project. That means you get to choose what media you are using, if it's going to be a painting, a drawing, a book, a sculpture, a Lego creation. You get to decide, which makes it even more fun. In the video, I'm going to focus mostly on the brainstorming part and the inspiration part. Since you guys get to choose what the project is at the end, I can't really give you directions on how to make it, but I can help you plan for it. So we are going to learn about a brand new contemporary artist. I'll tell you what contemporary artist means in a few minutes. We are going to make our very own handy dandy brainstorming sheet. We are going to look at a piece of contemporary art for our inspiration, and we're going to start planning what our project is going to be. Here's what you're going to need to follow along in the video. Okay? You will need your brain, something to write with, and something to write on. Are we ready to get started? PowerPoint time. So I know I already told you guys that this project is going to be about the future. And believe it or not, my dudes, every single one of you has a part to play in what the future of our world is going to be. So we're going to use some art today to explore what that could mean. We're going to get started doing that by talking about a contemporary artist. Now, some of you might be thinking, Mrs. Hagen, I have no idea what contemporary artist means. Now, I know you guys already know what artist means, and contemporary, if I were to pull out my dictionary, or you were to pull out your dictionary and look it up, means that it's occurring at the same time as something else. So a contemporary artist is somebody who is working on art right now. And this artist is also a self-taught artist, and that means that he taught himself how to do art. So I am going to introduce you to William Scott. This is a photograph of William Scott. He was born in 1964. He lives and works in San Francisco. He's had his work displayed all over the world, including a museum called the MoMA, or the Museum of Modern Art in New York. William does a lot of different kinds of art. He draws, he paints, he sculpts, and oftentimes he works on portraits. And we know from art class that a portrait means a picture of a person. And the portraits that William chooses to do are often of African American celebrities who he thinks embodies or best represents what good citizenship means. He also has an entire series. A series means artwork that's all related to each other or about the same thing, called Praise Frisco, which we're actually going to take a little bit of a peek at later on. Now that you know a little bit more about William Scott, we're going to take a pause really quick, and we're going to make the first part of our brainstorming sheet so that you can use it to help you on our next part where we look at one of William's paintings, because I want you guys to be able to have something where you can write down your thoughts about the painting so that it means a little bit more than just looking at it. First part of our brainstorming is a bit of writing. If you are a younger friend or a friend that has trouble with writing, that's okay. You can still do this too. I'm not going to come to your house and check your spelling. It's not going to be something that I do. Remember, brainstorming sheets are for you to remember your ideas. They are not for me. So if you need to write in smaller words, if you need to draw pictures, if you need to have one of your grown-ups come and help you and write down for you, that is okay. You do what you need to do for this. I'm just going to help you come up with 4 categories that we're going to use when we look at our project. So the very first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take this paper and we're going to need to divide it into 4 boxes on the front and 4 boxes on the back. So friends that are studying fractions, I wonder what fraction we could be making. Is it eighths or is it fourths? You tell me. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and we are going to fold it in half hot dog style. And remember that hot dog style means long side to long side. So you're making it long and skinny like a hot dog bun, not short and wide like a hamburger bun. And if it doesn't line up, that's okay. It does not have to be perfect. Okay. And then we're going to open it back up. So you've got a nice big line in the middle that you can see. And now we're going to fold it the other way, or hamburger style, which is short side to short side. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nice big crease so that when you open it back up, you've got your lines. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes on the front, and 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes on the back. And we're going to start on the front, and we are going to write some things on the front. And I will turn it around so you can see my spelling in a minute, okay? So in the first box, you are going to write the word like. And you can underline it if you want to. So like, L-I-K-E. And then on the next one at the top, you're going to write don't like. So I wonder if one of the things that we are going to look at are the things that we like or maybe don't like about this artwork. Okay? And don't is spelled D-O-N''T, and then like is spelled the same way. And on the bottom ones, you're going to write notice, so N-O-T-I-C-E. And in the last box, we're going to write wonder. So I notice that maybe we are going to be playing a little bit of I notice and I wonder with our artwork. And wonder is spelled W-O-N-D-E-R. All right, now we are ready to check out some artwork. Now that you have your brainstorming sheet done, we're actually going to look at one of William's paintings that is called Praise Frisco. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information about it first. Okay? As I told you before, he painted a series called Praise Frisco. So the painting that we're going to look at is only one of a whole bunch of pictures that he's done on the same topic. Okay? The one that we are going to look at is a painting. And I know one of the things you guys usually like to ask me about paintings is how big is it? In this case, the painting is about the same size as what we would work on in school. It's around 18 by 24 inches, which is one of those great big painting paper sizes that we use in art class. I'm not going to give you a lot more information on this until you finish filling out the front of your brainstorming page. Okay, because in this part, I really want your ideas and for you to think. So here is the painting, Praise Frisco. If I am moving too fast and you need time to write more, you just pause the picture whenever you want to, write down what you need to, and then start the video again so you can move forward. The first thing that I want you to think about is the first little box on your brainstorming sheet, which is the things that you like about the picture. So take a few minutes and write down all of the things that you like about this picture. Remember, you also need to put down why you like it. Okay. Moving on, we're going to go to the second box on your brainstorming sheet, which is the stuff that you don't like. And just like the first box, remember, you need to put down why you don't like it. Now moving on to our third box, which is the things that you notice. Really look at the picture. What are all of the things that you notice on the picture? And finally, on our last box, what are all of the things that you wonder about the picture? Remember, if you need to pause it here so you can finish filling in your boxes, that is okay. You just push the play button whenever you are ready to move on. Now that you've had the opportunity to write down a few things on your paper, I want to give you a little bit more information about the painting and why the artist created it. Not to change your ideas, but maybe to give you just a little bit more inspiration. So in Praise Frisco, every single one of the paintings that is in this series, William's idea was to present to his viewers a perfect future where there were no problems and everybody got along. And one of the things that he really desired to do with his paintings was to push an idea into people's minds of how we could start creating a future like that. Something to keep in mind when you start to brainstorm your ideas for your project. Now it's time to start brainstorming for your design of the future. Like I said before, you get to choose how you make this project. But not only do you get to choose how you make it, you get to choose what it's about because it's your future that you're planning for. So maybe you're going to create a self-portrait that is of you when you're older. Maybe you are going to create your very own brand new community on the moon. Maybe you are going to create the design for an invention and create the prototype out of Legos for something that we could use in the future. Maybe you are going to create a picture of what day-to-day life or objects that we would use in the future are going to look like. Maybe you're going to make a comic book that's about the future. Again, all of this stuff is up to you. And if you need the instructions for the origami sketchbook to make your book, you can go check out the video for that. And if you want to make Play-Doh and you need the instructions for that, there's also a video on my playlist for those things. So don't forget about those if you need them. If you don't have to check that out. Okay? But what we're going to do for our final step is we're going to create our actual brainstorming sheet so you guys can start getting your ideas of what you want to make onto paper so you can take those ideas and then use them later. All right, so we have our 4 empty boxes on the back. And here is what you're going to do with those. On these ones, you are going to write how, H-O-W. You are going to write what, W-H-A-T. You are going to write why, W-H-Y. And then you're just going to put a question mark. Okay. So we're going to start at the top. In the how box, you're just going to plan how you're going to make your project. So if you're going to paint, if you're going to draw, if you're going to create a Lego Play-Doh sculpture, just make sure that it is okay with your grown-ups before you get out anything messy, just like normal. Okay? And you're going to write all of that or draw all of that in that box. If you need to make a list of supplies you need to get, that all goes in the how box. And then you're going to move on to the what box. And in the what box is what you're going to create. Are you going to create an invention or any of those other plans that I talked about? Or you're going to come up with your own idea because this is your choice. And in that box, you're going to start maybe drawing or planning out what it's going to look like in any way that is useful for you. And the next box is our why box. And in that box, you are going to write down why you wrote the things in your what box. What's your reasoning behind it? Why do you want to do that project? And the last box, that question mark box, that's for you to put down any other information that didn't fit in another box. Anything else you need to complete your idea. And if you're struggling with coming up with ideas, remember on the back of your paper, there are all of the things that you wrote down when you were looking at our inspiration. You guys ready to go create something? Awesome. Go do a thing.